Caesar, my God, are countless, and exceedingly plenteous are your compassions. All the raindrops are counted by you, and the sand of the sea is before your eyes. How much more are they?
Coronadiary for Saturday the 28th of March 2020. Are you driving each other crazy yet? So you're stuck at home with your family in lockdown, either voluntary or imposed by the government. And sure, you love your family, of course you do. But is this really too much of a good thing? I think this couple thinks so.
Over 60 years now, but we've never seen a coronavirus. It looks like we're going to have to go into lockdown. What that means is you've got two choices really. Either A, we'll lock you down together in quarantine, or B...
B! I'll take B. Is that all right? Can I take B?
And thanks very much to Nancy from the Holy Family group for that video. So today I want to share a few small thoughts about, now that we're stuck together with our families, how we can grow in love for one another, rather than frankly driving each other crazy. And I only have two thoughts I want to share with you today. The first one is this is a great opportunity to get to know each other a lot better. Really, Abuna, of course we know each other. We've lived together in the same house years and decades. We know each other back to front. Or do you? How often do you actually get to talk to the people in your house about these kinds of things? What are you doing at uni at this time? What are you studying at school? What's your favourite subject? Tell me something you've learned that's really interesting. Who do you work with, or who do you study with? Who do you like? Who do you not like? Why do you like them or not like them? Who drives you crazy? Who actually sends you bananas? Or maybe, what's the last movie that you saw? What's your favourite TV show? What's your favourite song? And why? What's your favourite book? Why do you like it? What genre do you like? How often do you read? And then, of course, there's a whole lot of other questions that we rarely ever ask. One of them, which I think is really important, is, are you happy? Do you love your life? What would you change about your life if you could? There are many things, even though we live in the same house, that we still often don't know about each other. Because the busyness of life means that we never really get the chance to just sit and be together and share our lives with one another. And now this has been imposed upon us. Maybe this too is a blessing from God. There's a lovely old tradition of the father of the house. Nowadays, of course, it doesn't have to be the father, it could be any member. But, in the old tradition, the father of the house would sit down with a big Bible, the family Bible, or with a good book, and he would read out a passage from the Bible or from the book, and then everyone would discuss it and talk about it. What a lovely time to bring back that beautiful tradition, to bring our families together. If you can add a blazing fireplace, that would just make it absolutely perfect, wouldn't it? The second thought I want to think about with you today is being kind. When we are stuck together, often tempers fray and frictions arise. A lot of this friction often comes from the feeling that you are hard done by, that someone is not being kind to you, that someone is overstepping the line, not respecting your rights. And here it's important to remember that Christianity is not about rights. Rights are what we need to protect ourselves from each other when there is a lack of love. But where there is perfect love, there is no need to talk of rights. Perfect love would mean that we care for each other, that we look to each other. And if that's lacking, then that's when we need to bring in rights to protect ourselves. Of course, as love is shown from one side only, and it's not returned from the other side, things go pretty badly, right? It can be very lopsided, and that's not a good thing. And that's when we need to protect ourselves. In fact, that can end up being an abusive relationship. It can be the enabling of very bad behavior. But that's not what I'm talking about here now. I'm talking about the beauty of when a group of people, a family, a community, a society, all decide that they will practice love towards one another. And each of us looks to the needs and the care of the other. And I myself am cared for because others are doing that for me as I do it for them. One of my favourite stories from the desert is the story of two monks who had lived as hermits in neighbouring caves for many, many years and had never had an argument or a fight in all those years. And one day they realised that they're not getting the opportunity to practice the virtue of forgiveness and patience. So they decided they want to have a fight. But they have nothing to fight over. They own nothing. They're hermits living in the desert. So one of them comes up with the bright idea. He gets a big stone and he plonks it in the middle of the two monks, and he says, "Let's fight over who gets this stone. I'll start. This is my stone," he says. And the other monk immediately and instinctively responds and says, "Sure, definitely, Father. Let me take it into your cave for you. Is there anything else I can do for you?" That's not what's supposed to be happening. You have a go. So the other monk says, "Okay, I want this stone for myself." And the first monk says, "Certainly, Father. I'm glad you found something that you like. Is there anything else that you would like me to get for you? I'm so happy that you're enjoying this stone." And they realized that they had lived in love for so long that they had lost the ability to be selfish. They had cared for each other for so long. They had lost the ability to be lacking in love towards one another. Wouldn't it be beautiful if the whole world worked that way? Can you imagine that? Maybe that's a lot to hope for, but at least our homes and our families are somewhat more under our control. Look, any of you who know me well will know that I'm not really very good with emotions. I tend to work up here a lot more than I do down here. But even I have come to understand over the years that emotions are really, really important. Emotions are what bind us together and relieve our sense of loneliness and isolation in this world. Emotions are natural. They're a part of human nature, and they can be used for good or for evil. Even an emotion like anger, if it's used in the right way, at the right time, expressed in the right way and for the right reason, can actually be a good thing that binds us together. Think of the mother trying to protect her child from a dangerous situation and letting the child feel how dangerous it is by being angry with the child, but then following it up with a hug and a cuddle and, giving the child the security to know that she loves him even if she was angry with him. And of course, joy is a beautiful emotion. Are we able to find joy in one another? I hope that we can get to know each other better and learn to be more kind to each other throughout these days of our isolation at home with one another. May we find joy in life and in one another, even in difficult times. And to help you in that direction, I've decided I'm going to tell you a joke at the end of each one of these Corona Diaries. So here's my joke for today. How many cots does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is 3, 5, or 7. 3 for the Holy Trinity, 5 for the 5 sacrifices of the Old Testament, or 7 for the 7 sacraments. And if there happen to be a larger number of people in the room, then any odd number of people changing the light bulb will do. That's how cops change a light bulb. Okay, that was a disaster. Even I know that that was a disaster. So if you want to avert future disasters like the one that happened today, please send me your jokes. I'll be very happy to share them, and I'm sure they'll be much funnier than the ones I come up with. Oh, and by the way, I'm being very biblical and I'm taking Sundays off from doing these diaries to give me a chance to spend some alone time, but also to give you a chance to probably watch your parish's live stream of the Sunday liturgy. and pray together with one heart, even if we can't all be physically in the one place. So God bless, and I'll see you on Monday.
Your mercies, O my God, are countless, and exceedingly plenteous are your compassions. All the raindrops are counted by you, and the sand of the sea is before your eyes. How much more are the sins of my soul manifest before you, O my Lord? Sins that I have committed, do not remember, my Lord, and do not count my iniquity. For you have chosen the publican, and the adulteress you have saved, and the right-hand thief, my Lord, you have remembered. And I to the sinner, teach me, O my Lord, to offer repentance. For you do not desire the death of a sinner, but rather that he returns, and that his soul may live. Restore us, O God, to your salvation, and deal with us according to your goodness. For you are good and merciful. Let your compassion speedily come to us. Compassion upon us, O Lord God, our Savior, and have mercy upon us according to your great mercy. Remember those, O Christ our Master, be among us, and proclaim and say, my peace I give to you, the peace of my Father I live with you. O King of peace, grant us your peace, establish for us your peace, and forgive us our sins. Disperse the enemies of the church, and fortify her, that she may not be shaken forever. Emmanuel, our God, is now in our midst, with the glory of his Father and the Holy Spirit. May he bless us all, and purify our heart, and heal the sicknesses of our souls and bodies. We worship you, O Christ, with your good Father and the Holy Spirit, for you have come and saved us.